like to have fun as much as the next person, but we have a lot of business to get down to. I have 61 slides. 61! My God. It was an incredible stream. It ran an hour over. It was nuts. It was an experience. We're going to go through all the major announcements for the Disney theme parks. We're going to have a good time. And then, of course, at the end, you can ask me. We'll do a short Q&A since you guys are joining me live. And also, if you're not joining me live, I will put chapter times in the video after the live so that you can skip to whatever you're interested in, because there's so much to go over. All right, so Universal really threw the gauntlet down when they started to develop Epic Universe, and many people wondered what Disney would do in response. Here it is. I think that it was a very chaotic presentation. There's Josh DAmaro in all his glory. Hi, Josh. Hold on, where's my arrow? Here it is. There he is, woo! And there he is in person down there. That's how big the stage is. And here's a drone, like a Fortnite style drone, doing some recording. So there he is. And he is on the big screen because they filled this whole auditorium and you can't see him down there. It's even hard to see where the heck he is, but he's over there. All right, so I'll put the arrow here when I don't need it. So yes, as Tyler said, he is potentially the next Disney CEO. He has two other competitors who work in the entertainment division. You know, like believe one is, the other two people I think are both in TV. But anyway, I think Josh DAmaro, many of us believe he's the front runner to take over from Mr. Bob Iger. And you know, at the beginning of the presentation, I was texting with a friend of mine and we were like, oh, I don't know if he's going to get it because this presentation sucks. But now that it's the end of the presentation, I'm like, maybe he will. It was a very bad presentation. All right, so emotionally, this is where I was at, when did I post this? I don't know, like an hour into the panel. This was my post. I retweeted someone saying this from Jurassic Park. You do plan to have park announcements at your park panel, right? Because that's so much how it felt. And then you can see below, I then tweeted, if they sing one more bleeping song, I'm going to just lose it. It was a lot of singing. I mean, it eventually all worked out, but it was way too much singing. They could have easily cut an hour out of that panel. It was nuts. I don't know why they had so much singing. And I mean, my reviews. Jack, that's extremely generous of you. But yeah, it's raining memberships. But yeah, it was just like, it was so much singing. And thank you, Casually Trevor. It just was so weird that they, you know, it's supposed to just be like presentation after, you know, they should just be having constant announcements. So it was weird that they had all this singing. But Deadpool showed up. I loved that Deadpool was there. And I think that while Deadpool did not have any major announcements, he had a lot of jokes, I do think this goes to show just how quickly he has become a park staple. Now, right now, Deadpool is only available in Disneyland Paris and in Disneyland California, at California Adventure. But the character has proven to be immensely popular. Thank you, Dan Slam. Thank you, Ernesto. Just really, really doing well. In fact, over the D23 weekend, the crowds for his Storytime Hour have been insane. So while they didn't announce anything, the jokes were very funny. That's right, Velocigeist. A lot of inside jokes about theme parks, and especially talking about a lot of the problems they've been having. And I thought that was very funny. And I like that self-reverential and I like Disney willing to laugh at itself. By the way, I'd like to give a shout out to the improvisers that they hire to play Deadpool. That's a very difficult gig. Hey, Justin, I don't believe this is the same actor who's been doing the Disneyland theme park, but they do an incredibly good job, and that's a big part of why this is working. Thank you, Jennifer. So I think that I don't think they announced it. They obviously didn't announce it today, but because he had such a big part of the presentation, I bet you there's more Deadpool coming. I think Deadpool will probably very quickly be in all of the parks. And then he might actually probably get a ride at some point. He's going to start being in the parades. I think that, Deadpool is only beginning his theme park adventure. Thank you, Mr. Magic. All right, then next, a lot of headlines, but I think the biggest headline has to go to Villains Land. It was announced at the very end of the presentation. People were bummed because they had announced Cars Land in Orlando. So I'll tell you where the park is. This is going to be in Magic Kingdom in Orlando. And they had also announced they were going to do a Cars Land expansion of Frontierland. And the crowd was kind of disappointed at that point because they felt that meant they wouldn't get their Villains Land. You're getting both, baby. So this obviously is a direct answer to Dark Universe that Universal is building, which is going to open next year. They didn't give it a specific time frame for when but they said the ground has already been broken. But it's going to take a little bit of time. They didn't give any details, but they did say it would be 2 attractions, shopping and dining. But they didn't say anything about what it would be. I think it's almost impossible that it's going to look that good. Like when they were like, ooh, Pandora. And you're like, it's much smaller in scale than you promised. And they're like, do you want it or not? And you're like, I do. I think that's like Maleficent's castle back there. Where's my arrow? I think that's Maleficent's castle. Whee! Some kind of water ride, I guess. That's Maleficent's Raven, obviously. And then there's like a whole lot of green energy. That looks like a dragon. A lot of Maleficent energy going on here. Angelina Jolie's like, am I about to get paid? Like Robert Downey Jr. is? We'll talk about Robert Downey Jr. But also, this looks like a roller coaster over here. Some kind of roller coaster. They're adding thrill rides. And, Universal is stealing a lot of their stuff, a lot of their ride technology. And tonight, Disney decided to take a lot of Universal technology as well. Thank you, Mr. Magic. So I thought that was pretty funny. But I'm excited about this. I think it's a little scooch less exciting because Universal's going to do it first. But nobody cares. It's going to be a big deal. So that was like the major announcement. Because, a lot of this stuff, there were a couple of surprises, but a lot of it was confirmations of stuff that people already suspected. So here's the map. This is where the expansion's going to go. So here's the back of the park. And of course, as many Disney fans know, the Utilidor is underneath the park. So they can't really put very many trees in Disney World and Magic Kingdom because you can't put the roots in because there's a whole underground system that allows cast members to move around the park without anyone seeing them. When I was little, I took a tour of the Utilidor as a child. It was part of like some like behind the scenes thing that I did. I've never forgotten it. There's famously a Subway down there, a Subway sandwich shop. It's incredible. So back here, trees. So they can have a lot of fun with this area. And they can do a little bit more stuff there because there is no Utilidor and Disney ain't paying to build a new one. The reason there's a Utilidor here is because they built the Utilidor first, covered it with dirt, and then built Magic Kingdom on top of it. Disney don't make that kind of effort anymore. So it's going to be back here. So apparently Cars Land is going to be here as an expansion of Frontierland, which is stupid. And then over here, I think is going to be Villains Land. Goodbye, road. Goodbye. You can just make people drive here. So this whole thing is probably going to be park. I don't know how long this is going to take, but I'm excited. I didn't see your super chat in my reviews. Here, I'll go back since you were so generous there. Oh, let's see here. I don't see the super chat. I just saw that you gifted them memberships. I'm sorry, my reviews. Okay. So my reviews, you can DM me. I know you very well. You're very nice. All right. So yeah. So this is where it's gonna go. Let's see here. And then, so here's the Cars Land. It's so stupid. But we have to talk about it in this section because it fits with the expansion of Magic Kingdom in Orlando. So for some reason, instead of another Radiator Springs like they have in California, this is going to be driving around the wilderness, right? So it's like camping, I guess. I got to tell you, the Radiator Springs Racers is pretty good. I like that ride, even though I'm not a Cars fan. I kind of like the Cars IP, even though, I mean, the movies are only okay for me. But, they're not for me. They're made for tiny little kids who are like, vroom, vroom, I can drive. Although that should be me because I can't actually drive either. So I'm like, hey, move over, kid. I'm also driving. I always remember that I have a family member who likes to tease me about Autotopia. I don't really like Autotopia, but I remember one time I was going on it and I was like, look at me, I'm not hitting the middle thing. And they were like, this isn't driving, Grace. And I was like, let me have this. All right. Here's some more artist renderings of driving through the woods. So lame. I can't believe it. All right, so anyway, that's right. I am a New Yorker, little baby pizza. Lady Gaga can't drive either, so I'm in good company. All right. So here we go. So here, let's talk Avengers. Woohoo, Avengers. Tons of Marvel news, all right? So this is really big. So they're going to expand Avengers Campus in California. So, woo, they're going to add all these rides. It's going to be great. So, finally, this land will have something in it. I've never been, actually, because of the pandemic, but I have multiple friends who've been, and they say it's small, and there really isn't very much to do there. But not for long. All right, so they're building not just one, but 2 attractions here. The first is they're finally going to put something in this building. Remember when they opened up the land? Right now, just characters walk around on it. A lot of characters will walk around and be like, yay, hello, we're up here. Don't bother us. So that's what happens. But now there's going to be a ride in it. And it's going to be Avengers Infinity Defense. Remember that movie that everybody liked? I prefer Endgame, but that's not really a name for a ride. So it's calling Avengers Infinity War to mine. So it's called Avengers Infinity Defense. There's the entrance. All right, so you're like, wee. Insomniac, you're setting me up for a really good inappropriate joke with that Red Hulk ride question. But I can't go there. I'll get in trouble. All right. So there's part of the loading area, or, online, and you're going to get in that vehicle. Ooh, it's all, this is the standard 3D vehicle. They already use it in Transformers over at Universal and also over in Tokyo. They just opened Fantasy Springs, and the new Peter Pan ride also has the same setup. You guys and your inappropriate jokes. We have to be well behaved. All right. So anyway. All right. So it's the same, it's a little bit tough. I'm glad that they're having a couple of other things because, I think we're getting tired of all the same ride systems. And you're going to see that a little bit here. Like, wait till you see Splash Mountain Lion King style. You're like, it's the exact same ride. You just stuck lions on it. And they're like, shut up. We'd have to make up for lost time. And so it's the same thing. They're like, we just built this Peter Pan ride. Now we're going to slap Avengers on it. And you're like, all right. Okay, so it's going to be here. You hear some of the artist renderings. You'll see Giant Man. Woohoo. Then you'll see you're going to be in Wakanda. You're going to be in Asgard. Then you're going to show up in New York, and there's going to be King Thanos. And he's like, just when you thought you were rid of me, Josh Brolin needed another car. Or maybe a house. I don't know how much he's getting paid. All right, so that's clearly Doctor Strange's inner sanctum or sanctum, whatever it's called. But yeah, so that's a sanctorum. So yeah, so that's what they're going to have here. Obviously, it looks really good. It's going to be very popular. All right. Yeah, they should swing by my house, Garnet Fire. I'd be like, oh, good luck, everybody. All right, there's Stark Flight Lab. This, to me, looks like the superior attraction. I'm very excited about this. This is Stark Flight Lab. Now, they took the arm. This is the arm that they used at the Harry Potter attraction, the main first Harry Potter attraction at Universal, the one that's at Hogwarts. And Disney doesn't have any of these kinds of attractions. They don't have any arm-style attractions. But now they do! And so you're going to be loaded in. It's a 2-seater, as you can see. So that would make riding this as a single rider very awkward. All right? You don't like to stand online? I don't like to stand online either. All right, so we'll see. But look, there he is, Robert Downey Jr. Look how tiny he is, by the way. Bob Iger is not a very large man, but yet he looks like a giant next to Tony Stark. That's so funny. Robert Downey Jr.'s high heels ain't gonna help him here. So yeah, so there they are in the attraction, trying it out. And, Robert Downey Jr. is like, I love taking Bob Iger for a ride. And I got to tell you, my first question was, is this an additional paycheck? Or did Robert Downey Jr. agree to throw this in with the ridiculous amount of money he's getting paid for the next 2 movies? But, I got to tell you, I don't think Robert Downey Jr. is that generous. I'm sure it's an additional fee. So he is ka-ching cleaning up. Also, I think it's weird that he's going to be running around as Tony Stark on this ride as he becomes Doctor Doom. So he's definitely a Tony Stark variant, because you would think he would totally move on from this role, but no. So I think, but I got to tell you, I did like when I was at Disney World in August, and I liked seeing the actors from Guardians of the Galaxy on the Cosmic Rewind. So I think it's going to make this ride. And, I'm a big Tony Stark fan. I mean, he's really testing me, but I still like Tony Stark. And so I'm excited to see him in the attraction and to have no new Tony Stark footage where he's like, because you're basically going to be invited to his lab and he's going to take you on a mission. And by the way, every time you go on the ride, it'll be a different mission, just like Cosmic Rewind. So they want you to go on as much as possible. So who's not going to do that? I mean, I'm going to be like, yes, Tony, let's go. All right. And there you can see that's part of the ride system. So you're at Stark Enterprises. All right, then, this is only overseas for now. This looks to me like a reskinning of a Rock and Roller Coaster, by the way. That's what this looks like to me. But we'll see. This first one is in Shanghai. That looks like Electro going on there. And this is going to be a SpiderMan Rollercoaster. Spider-Man! All right, and so that's part of it. And then also you can see here, which also makes it look very much like Rock and Roller Coaster to me. Although that looks like the exterior, like it's outside. Maybe it's a new build. I'm not sure. But there you can see you're swinging around the Spider-Man. I hope, obviously, it's an animatronic and not that one that is a robot, because that one malfunctions all the time. And you don't want to pull a Fabio where it runs into your face, like that bird did. But that would kill you, so they can't do that. But yeah, that's amazing. This is going to happen in the Shanghai resort. But don't worry, once they build the ride somewhere, it eventually trickles down to all the other parks. It might take 10 to 15 years, but you'll ride it someday. You'll be like, I remember when this was first announced. All right, then next up, in Hong Kong, they're going to expand Avengers Campus, and they're going to have, at the Stark Expo, Peter Parker is going to do a presentation. But oh no, it goes horribly wrong with Doc Ock, which has obviously major Spider-Man 2 vibes. And they're going to have, what do you know? Peter Parker's there, and then therefore Spider-Man will show up. I don't know if this is Tower of Terror. I don't think it is. That looks like a different type of ride vehicle to me. We'll see. But yeah, that's what they're going to do. So they're going to have, this is going to be in Hong Kong. So that's pretty cool. I think that's not nice as well. All right, then next up, we're going to take a little break and talk Fortnite, because I'm putting the big stuff first. So I got to tell you, for those of us who don't play Fortnite, we're like, what's all this garbage doing in my stream? But my business sense, speaking of Spider-Man, my business sense was tingling when Josh DAmaro said, I'm told that we have over 1 million people watching this panel through Fortnite. And I was like, ka-ching! I know Emma Frost is in Fortnite. We're getting to it. It's obviously the coolest thing that's in this thing. I was so happy to see her trending. Everybody knows that Emma Frost is the coolest. And I'm glad that Marvel seems to know that as well. But yes, so they brought out all the major people, as you can see. They have, where's my arrow? They've got Kevin Feige, Dave Filoni, Kathleen Kennedy, still suspiciously MIA. I do wonder what's going on. I hope everything's okay. I hope it's just that she's being phased out. I hope there's nothing bad going on with her, obviously. Bye, Mr. Magic. There's Pete Docter, and there's Jennifer Lee from Disney Animation. So they're bringing out all the big guns. Apparently, all these people's children play Fortnite. Does anybody here play Fortnite? I don't play Fortnite. Kevin Feige said his son plays it every day. I was like, wow, that's incredible. No wonder look, a lot of you play Fortnite, so you're loving this section of the stream. So yeah, so they're all contributing. They're all paying. It's like the Three Kings. They're all, bending, or, let's do a less religious metaphor. It's like Game of Thrones. They all got to bend the knee to Fortnite. All right, so here we go. So obviously the big announcement is Absolute Doom. Kevin Feige said many of our characters are introduced to fans through Fortnite. And therefore, Dr. Doom. Oh, he's got green energy. Angelina Jolie's like, what the what? But yeah, so I don't know if this is what MCU Doom is going to look like, because obviously Wolverine is not a banana in the MCU. That's not what Wolverine looks like. But, they're at least trying to familiarize people with Doom. So this is the setup. This is what we're getting. And people are pretty excited about this. So there's Doom. Woo! There's Emma Frost! Looking like the queen that she is. I love Emma Frost so much, and I love the design for the character. Gwenpool. T'Challa. Is that T'Challa or Shuri? I'm not sure. Interesting looking Captain America, like cowboy Captain America to a degree. Banana Wolverine. Mysterio. And then War Machine. So not bad. Pretty good setup. But obviously this is, it's Shuri? Thank you, it's Shuri. That makes sense, because, you want to have 3 women. 3 women, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. That makes sense. All right, so that's fantastic. But I, of course, am most excited about Emma Frost. I'm like, forget Doom. When's Emma Frost going to show up? But obviously, I don't know if this is what Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom is going to look like, but I'm glad that he looks so doomy. He looks very comics accurate. That gives me a little bit of hope for the Doom that we're going to get. Okay. Then Grogu is going to Fortnite, with his, I don't know. It looks like he has a flask there on the right. No, that's the holder for the cookies, right? But it looks like he's having a little drink and a macaroon. I love that they just took macaroons and they're like, these are space cookies. And you're like, no, it's from La de Rey. What are you talking about? But yeah, so they're going to have a couple other figures. Then they're also going to do The Incredibles from, obviously from Pixar. That's what they've contributed to the almighty Fortnite. And then the Disney villains are going to be coming to Fortnite, who look fantastic, by the way. And I like the modern glow up that they've gotten. Look, Captain Hook's trying to show off his chest hair as well. He's like, although he looks a little smooth. But I don't know what's going on with them sexifying their characters. But there's Captain Hook. There's Maleficent, who obviously, as you can see, has the green energy. And then I really liked this look for Cruella, because I thought she was looking a little Emma Stone, which I thought was nice. I thought that was a very nice look for Cruella. I'll be curious to see what she does. The gloves are very nice. I like those gloves. But yeah, I think that these characters look really good. So that's interesting. All right, then next up, just a little thing. If you're looking for some Star Wars news, they're not building any new rides, but the Millennium Falcon clearly can be reskinned. Just like the Star Tours attraction can change the visuals because it's just a screen. They're going to do a new adventure, a new mission for Millennium Falcon, this time with Mandalorian and Grogu, obviously to get you excited about the new movie. I'm glad you're having a good time, Harsh. So there you can see, there they are, over there. Whee! I rode this when I was there in August. I thought it was okay. I didn't love it. I thought it was fine. But I mean, when you're in the park, you're like, what are we going to do? And I can obviously see you being like, let's go check out the new Mandalorian and Grogu version of the ride. All right, then next up, we're halfway through on the slides. Can you believe it? We're halfway through. Then this was a total surprise. Nobody had heard about this. At least I don't believe so. So Billy Crystal shows up and he goes, woo, we're gonna do Monsters Inc. Land. And at first I was like, boo. It's gonna be in Hollywood Studios in Orlando. But again, eventually I'm sure it'll expand to all the parks. I was like, give me Zootopia Land. This IP is too old. Even though my family voted me most like Mike Wazowski for my Disney character representative. And I thought that was pretty on the mark. I appreciated that. So anyway, here's part of what it looks like. See, you walk around Monstropolis. Then also you get to go to the factory, the scare floor where they all work. But then they totally changed my mind. Because they're going to have Disney's first hanging roller coaster, which is going to be the door system. I'm sold. I think it's going to be incredible. Again, it's not just some other ride that's been reskinned, or they just the way either reskinned or it's the same ride system being just built somewhere else. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. I just can't believe how good it is. I think this is going to be an incredibly popular ride. I mean, this is going to have to be something that has like the digital line, because it's just going to be so popular. This will be Cosmic Rewind and Avengers level, because it's just a really cool thing. You can see they have the Scream canisters, or now they hold Laughter, the Laugh Floor canisters up there. I mean, it just looks really amazing. All right, so next up, they confirmed the Tropical Americas. That's coming to Animal Kingdom. So we got some specifics on it. So this is the artwork that they put out before. This is going to take over for Dino Land at Animal Kingdom down in Orlando. But they said that it's going to be in stages so that you can still ride some of the attractions before they get rid of them. So the Indiana Jones was the first thing they introduced, and Ke Huy Quan was there, which was such a nice thing to have him coming there a short round to represent. So I thought that was really nice. So that's what it's going to look like. It's going to be a totally different story than the one that currently exists in Disney's Magic Kingdom in California. So the Orlando park will have a totally different story. So it's not going to be an exact repeat of the other attraction, but it is the same system where you're in a car. So it's going to be a South American temple, and then there's some artist rendering of what it's going to look like inside. So there's Indiana Jones being like, it belongs in a museum, and you're like, yes, it does. And I have to tell you, I've been on the dinosaur ride in Animal Kingdom. I don't think it's as good, actually, as the California Indiana Jones ride. The California Indiana Jones ride is amazing. So I hope they adjust this a little bit so that it's just as good. All right, then next up, though, we got some stuff about Encanto. They are building an Encanto attraction, which is clearly going to be the same technology as Mystic Manor. Mystic Manor is also a freestanding home, and inside it's also a trackless ride. Now, this looks like a boat ride. When I first saw it, and I was talking to some other people while the stream was going on, and it's because someone was illegally streaming it on YouTube, because they had like no security tonight. They were like, because this is different. So they were like, share away, everybody. So anyway, they said that this way this is going to work is that the furniture has come to life. So the furniture has come to life in the house. So it's going to be Mystic Manor. So this is Antonio's big day where he gets his animal powers, which I guess, therefore ties it into Animal Kingdom. So you're going to go around the house. You'll, of course, see other family members. I thought it was uncool that they had a guy male band singing Luisa's song. I was like, why do you got to take it away from Luisa? But whatever. And then, of course, you'll end up in his room, and there'll be animals all around you, and it'll be very magical. So that's what that attraction is going to be. So, but basically, as was rumored, it's just going to be the Mystic Manor technology finally brought. But, they have a lot of trackless rides. I gotta tell you, I think they can't keep using the same technology too much. Last time I was at Disney World, I got over trackless rides real quick. Because like in the span of 1 day or 2 days, I was on Runaway Railroad, Rise of the Resistance, and Ratatouille. And I was like, they all feel the same. So the fact that this is going to be another one like that makes me a little bit nervous. So we'll see. Then this is some pictures of what the land itself will look like, the Tropical Americas. This is going to be the entrance. It looks pretty nice. They're going to have this restaurant. I will definitely eat there. They have a wonderful, Latin America restaurant in Disney's Magic Kingdom in California, which is lovely, and it's beautiful to eat in, and one of my favorite places to eat there, actually. And so I think this is going to be a great addition to Animal Kingdom. Then also they're going to have a carousel, which of course had also been rumored. By the way, Bruno is going to show up in the Encanto ride. I think it's going to be very, very popular. They really need more e-ticket attractions. That's Disney lingo for very popular at Animal Kingdom. All right, then. I don't know how to feel about this, man. I don't know how to feel about this. This is a little weird in my opinion. So they're going to do a Walt Disney animatronic. That's so crazy to me, especially because it's kind of weird that the man who invented animatronics would become one. It almost feels like a Ray Bradbury, like Twilight Zone story to me. I kind of don't like it. Like I think that's how I would explain it, like a Twilight Zone. Like I don't think that when Walt Disney was building these things, he felt that one day he would be one. I think it's really weird. I don't know if they should have done it, but they are. So of course there's always been that rumor that his head's frozen somewhere to be reanimated, but it's weird. So anyway, this is going to be an attraction. It's going to be it's going to rotate with the Abraham Lincoln one at Disney in Magic Kingdom in California. I don't know what they're going to do. Are they just going to take one off the pole and put the other one back on? But he's going to talk to you from his office. I actually was so fortunate. Somebody took me on a tour of Walt's office one time when I was in California, and it was a really amazing experience. And I think people would be better off being able to do that. I think Walt has such a strong persona. I don't really know if you need to have a Walt animatronic. I think there's plenty of footage of him. I don't know if you should make animatronic. I guess they have the Hall of Presidents. What do you guys think? Let me do a poll. I know you guys like a poll. What do you think of a Walt Disney animatronic? So cool. Then I'd have to see it. And then nightmare fuel. That's what we'll do. All right. So anyone can technically talk in the stream. All you have to do is hit subscribe. But I think it's very bizarre. Tenerife says, isn't Walt problematic today? I don't know. I think Walt was very much a product of his times. Was he a perfect man? No. Was he a saint compared to today's problematic people? Sure, he sure was. I gotta tell you, I'll never forget. I was watching a Walt Disney interview, and he was walking around and showing people stuff. And he had a woman with him who was like a tour guide, and he was very dismissive of her. And it was a very surreal experience for me to realize that my childhood hero probably would not think very much of me when he first met me because he was a product of his times. But I think at the same time, if you look at the people that he promoted through his work, Mary Blair was a very successful person at the company when a lot of women were not working. And then also he hired a lot of LGBT people for his Imagineers and to develop as his artists. And I think, the worst thing that Walt did was that he stole a lot of people's ideas. Like if you look at the story of Lady and the Tramp and you're like, would it have killed you to give him a story credit? But I think nobody's perfect. I think that Walt Disney defined America. Forget a generation. I think Walt Disney defined America. And you can still see his legacy to this day. So I feel at the end of the day, it's like Black Widow says, your life's a ledger. You've got some red, you've got some black. What do you have the most in? And I think he has just an overwhelming tsunami of good, positive stuff. So that's what I think. That's how I feel about Walt. I mean, I'm realistic about Walt, but I overall will defend him. All right. So let's see we took a little side note so you guys could vote. Let's see what the results are. Oh, Sophia, I kind of like the hologram idea. I would feel better about a hologram than an animatronic. So 40% of you feel you need to see it. 40% need to see it. 34% think it's nightmare fuel. And 25% of you, a quarter of those who voted, think it's a really great idea. Let's see. I predict that I predict it's not. I predict this doesn't last. Okay. Then let's talk about Avatar Land, the next one. They have one already in, of course, Animal Kingdom in Orlando, but they're finally adding it to California Adventure out in Los Angeles, or Anaheim. This is obviously way too big to be what actually is there. But you can see what I think is most interesting about it is while the first Pandora in Orlando thank you, Cat Shack, mimics the first movie. Clearly, this is going to mimic the second film. So whoever gets the third Avatar Land is clearly going to mimic the third film. So they're getting, what do you know? Yes, that's right, California Adventure, Ricky. They're getting a water land. A water ride. Way of Water, water ride. It's another boat ride. I think that's a little anticlimactic, to be honest with you, but these are very pleasant. They didn't mention anything about a flight of passage. So yeah, there's the whale that's very smart. Okay, all right. Then also, Disney, I believe this is also California Adventure, but Los Angeles, Anaheim, is getting a Coco Ride, which is also a boat ride. They announced these back-to-back at the beginning of the stream, and it was like, you guys are really going hard on the water rides. But this will obviously be very beautiful. I'm sure it'll be very popular. All right. Then next up, we're going to go across the ocean, bonjour, to Disneyland Paris. So this is the park, which is now going to be like Disney's Adventure Park or something. It's currently like Disney's Hollywood Studios or Disney Studios. And I think it's going to be called now Disney Adventureland or something. So Frozen Land is coming very soon. That's going to be in the back. And then over here is going to be Lion King Land. So Lion King Land is going here. But while it's going to have dining and shopping, the biggest thing, it's going to have a ride, but it's going to be Lion King Splash Mountain. I mean, I'm surprised that it's so clearly Splash Mountain. I mean, they didn't even try to hide it. It's Splash Mountain. And I have to say, I feel really bad how poorly the Tiana overlay has gone. I guess the issue, because part of me was like, why don't you just do this with the Splash Mountain ride? The ones that already exist. But Lion King doesn't fit in Frontierland or New Orleans Square, which is where the Splash Mountains exist in the parks already. But this is going to be a new construction, and so they can change the land that it's in, and therefore they can put whatever skinning they want on it. But I agree with Dane. I think it feels very lazy. I think that again, you know, Glalie, I agree. Tiana was done really dirty. Her ride never works. I think she still isn't the focus of her own ride. And then also, I think, why undercut the Tiana ride with people comparing the reskinning, right? Like, you know, which new version of Splash Mountain do you like better? There should only be one type of ride like this, and it should be Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I don't need comparisons with, like, what's better, Lion King or, you know, Tiana. So I just feel really bad about it. Her animated series better be great. All right. Then next up, this was hilarious to me. I don't go on cruises. They're going to have a Hercules stage show. They're also doing a Hercules show on the West End, apparently. Hercules' time is coming. You know, they still haven't confirmed a live-action remake, but it's got to be coming soon. But what was hilarious to me was that they announced they're building 4 additional cruise ships on top of the ones they're already building. So by the time they're done building all the cruise ships that have been announced, as you can see, they will have 13 cruises. One of my favorite comments in the live stream was, poor Ocean. Cruising, yeah, that's right, Kay Walton. Cruising must be making so much money for them if they're doing this. It's just incredible to me. So yeah, 13 ships is a lot of ships. All right, then next up, so in 2025, all right, they confirmed that a couple of things will be opening in Orlando. So the Animal Kingdom, and the Tree of Life, the center thing that's currently a Bug's Life, that's going to be Zootopia. All right, so Zootopia is going to take over that part. Then the Pirates Lounge is coming to Magic Kingdom. That's going to open in 2025. It looks pretty small, but clearly you're going to see there's going to be some type of show, which is what should happen at Gaston's Tavern, but doesn't happen. Then they're also going to have, I did not know about this one. I think this is a new announcement. Some kind of Spaceship Earth Lounge is going to be at Epcot, although that doesn't look particularly themed to me. Then they're going to have Test Track, the new version. They're currently redoing that ride. That's going to open in 2025 as well. Then finally, we're almost done. Then they have some shows that are coming up. This is going to be a new nighttime parade, which is going to be very light-centric, as you can see. This is going to be the one that's at Walt Disney World, and there are 2 pictures of this one. Here you can see the Blue Fairy is the one who's in charge of this, and she's going to be doing here. They're going to have this with Encanto, you can see as part of the parade. Then next up, you can see they have, this is in Paris. This is going to be projections on the castle and also on Main Street for the first time. So this is going to be a Paris nighttime show. And then also near the thank you, Wandering Seth. Near the new Disney Adventure Park, they're going to have this nighttime water show, which is similar to the one that they have at California Adventure. And then also this is going to be at Tokyo Disney Resort, and they made a big deal about the fact that the Avengers, here you can see Iron Man and Captain Marvel, are going to be part of this nighttime show as well. All right, so I think that's everything. So let's go back to Josh DAmaro and let's do the Q&A. All right, hold on. Ta-da! All right, so it's 2:15 in the morning, so you can ask me anything you'd like. Let's do like 10 minutes, since you guys stayed up with me so late. I don't want to rush you off. So till 2:25. I can't do a poll on favorite announcement because there's too many. I only have 4 spots. So do you guys have any questions or comments? Rogelio thinks Josh DAmaro is very handsome. Let's see here. Polly says, what's my favorite announcement? I guess I really liked the Avengers stuff. I thought that sounded really exciting. Steven says, I like the effort to add more adult thrill rides. I have mixed feelings on it, but I do think it's what they have to do to compete with Universal. Michael Harston says, is there anything you were expecting, wanting to see that didn't happen? I would have liked to have more surprises. I mean, a lot of this has been leaked or teased already. I think the Monsters, Inc. thing was fun because we didn't know it was coming. That was a really great surprise. And I think some of the Avengers stuff was also a surprise. So I liked the stuff that was total surprise the most. And that's true, Salvador. I would have liked to have seen more Zootopia stuff. I don't know why you're thinking there's going to be a Zootopia thing in Orlando. They didn't announce that. That's going to be Cars. I mean, that's going to be Hollywood. That's going to be Monsters, Inc. I said I wish it was Zootopia. I would like more Zootopia. Right now, that's only in Shanghai. Danny says, hi, Grace. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you excited about the park announcements? I would say an 8, maybe even a 7, because it's going to take so long to build all of this stuff. This stuff is very far away. I think 2025 for some of the smaller things, but like a lot of it's not going to come until 2026, 2027. Some of it probably not until 2030. So it's going to take a very long time to build all this. Insomnimat, there's no big panels tomorrow. There's like a little bit of stuff tomorrow for sure for people who are attending D23, but they're done with big announcements. This was the big thing. Oh, Muhammad wants to know if anybody else is excited about the Fortnite stuff. Clearly people are. It was the stuff that trended the most. Stardust says, hey Grace, do you have any fun theme park memories? I'm glad you guys like my personal stories. I told you you guys have heard my story about everybody being drunk on Cosmic Rewind, right? That's probably my most recent funny story. Because that was just, I'll never forget that. That's when I learned not to go to Epcot on Fridays and Saturdays. Sophia, they haven't announced a Wakanda Land just yet, but I'm sure they'll get there. Ryan, I'm glad you guys enjoy the late night streams. I am going to start doing 1 late night stream a month. And I also today came up with another cool idea. I'm going to reimagine BTT Inside Access. I feel like I'm having my own D23 panel. We're going to reimagine BTT Inside Access. Should I tell you? Because you guys are staying up late. Okay, I'll tell you. I'm going to reimagine it as a movie club instead of a book club. So we're going to do a movie club once a month. It's going to include Zooms, so some of you will be able to join in on video. And we're going to do that. That's how, because I still feel that I feel like the second level of membership still isn't quite where I want it. So that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a movie club. We're going to pick a movie at the beginning of the month. You'll have a couple of weeks to watch it, and then we'll have a discussion about it that I'll lead. And again, some of you will be able to join in on the Zoom, and we'll have a discussion about it. And so that's what it's going to be. I'm glad you guys like the idea. I was able to do my own announcement. So that makes me feel very nice. You guys are a lot of fun. We have good times together, don't we? Shay, yeah, BTT After Dark seems to have some pretty crazy stuff happen during it, doesn't it? You guys get me excited, and we have a really good time. Let's see here. Casually, Trevor says, to this day, I have yet to see a water ride that I said to myself, I gotta ride that. I don't like one that makes me, like Splash Mountain, it's too much water. I had to be careful how to phrase that. Lucas Blanco says, BTT 23 won't be complete without a performance. Skibidi says, would you play Fortnite just for Emma Frost? No, I would not. I heard I can't get sucked into that, man. I don't have enough time as it is. But I will obviously take a look at all the video that I can find of it. And tweet about it and be like, Emma Frost, you're the greatest ever. Oh, let's see here. I think I missed some comments there. I love your guys' enthusiasm. Garnet Fire says, do you think that Emma could be coming with Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom? She and Tony were married in the comics. Don't get me excited, Garnet Fire. I think that as much as I'd like to get Emma Frost yesterday, I don't want to mess it up. Let's do it right. Take your time, Feige. But the fact that she's just on his radar makes me very happy. Leonardo says, do you know when the licensing for Marvel is due in Universal Orlando? I think they're just going to have to probably cut them a check at some point. That's my opinion. Daryl King says, what location has the best to offer out of all of them? Honestly, I honestly feel that it's Orlando because it's just the biggest. I think every Disney theme park has something special about it, and Disney theme park fans try to go to all of them. I still need to go to Tokyo. I don't know if I'll ever be able to get to Hong Kong or Shanghai, but it's worth going to the different parks. But to me, if you have to choose one, Disney World is like a city. You know, it's amazing because it has so much space. But, go to the one that's easiest for you. That's what just start where you can. Sebastian Scribbles. You guys are really shipping me on the Red Hulk. Don't let him know I like him. You guys are going to blow my cover. Let's see here. I got to play cool. Let's see. John Thrasher says, just want to say thank you for your help. Thank you, John. Travis Parkerly says, hey, Grace, loving the late night streams. Was there any mention about park prices? I think they're going to nickel and dime everybody on the line stuff, which frustrates me. I'd rather they just raise the prices. Daryl Kingsworth, Steven says, have you ever been to any Disney parks outside of the U.S.? Yes, I've been to Disneyland Paris, which was an amazing experience. Think Noodle says, hey, Grace, do you think we'll ever get an X-Men or Mutant Land or Rider? Yes, of course you'll get X-Men stuff eventually. But, get in line. Feige's got quite the dance card. Let's see. Thanks, August. That makes me feel so happy that you feel that way. Mario says, what villain do you want to see be one of the rides? I suspect they're going to do a ride that's all the villains. A little bit like the one at Dark Universe, which is all the monsters. But I think they should do, I think they're probably going to say like Maleficent's throwing a party and all the villains are there. And then you go through her castle and you see all the villains. Because I think they're not going to want to pick a favorite. And I think that the villains, people are used to seeing the villains all together already at this point. So I think that's what they're going to do. Middle Kid, I don't know what you're talking about with the John ride. Bert Hansen says, have to ask, since night times have been so much fun, do you miss late night MCU watch-alongs? I think it's hard for me to do watch-alongs because I can't show what I'm watching. So that's always been a little bit of a hurdle for watch-alongs. Let's see here. Polly, Villains Land will be packed for Halloween, I'm sure. Dean Parker says, do you think they'll ever expand to Galaxy's Edge? I sure hope so, because it's not big enough. Oh, Marshall, I'm so glad you got a membership. Babar, there's a Tiana panel tomorrow. That's fantastic. Maybe they'll show a little bit of something with her new show. Dalton says, what's your favorite snack to get at the theme parks? I like that Mickey Mouse cookie with the ears on it that you can dip in chocolate. I think that's really cute. I like just eating. I just like being in Disney World. You know, I don't really have a favorite snack too much, to be honest with you. I just like being there. So it's just nice for me to be there. Let's see here. Ricardo says, favorite ride in the Magic Kingdom. Peter Pan. Hands down. Peter Pan will always be my favorite one. Oh, Dreads, they did mention the Tiana ride. They did mention an opening date. That will be in November of this year. Oh, Sophia says, Mr. Super Chat, Wanda in Infinity Defense would be really popular. I don't know. They didn't mention her. Poor Wanda. All right, I better get going. It's 2:25 in the morning, and I've got to do movie math tomorrow. So thank you so much for staying up late with me. I will be doing live streams late at night once a month, and then also a movie club. So thank you so much. I had a great time with you. Thank you so much. All right, everybody.